Today we're reading the final section of Riding Freedom in the End. Ebenezer arrived in the spring just before the fowl. He surveyed the property and grumbled about all the things that should be done. The pasture fence needed mending, and the chickens needed a new coop. Margaret needed help selling eggs in town. Charlotte was tickled because she figured all of his belly aching meant he'd come to stay. And the fowl? It came in the middle of the night, in the middle of a thunderstorm. It gave Charlotte's fits and worries because it was Breech trying to come out the wrong way. She coaxed as best as she knew, but when she was afraid they'd both be lost, she woke up Ebenezer. The two sat up all night soothing the mother horse, who was as frightened by the thunder as she was by the birthing. While Ebenezer tried to deliver the fowl, Charlotte paced like an expectant father. Her mind was on the night she sat up with Freedom, and she was remembering Vern. If he were here, he'd be telling her to settle down, that Ebenezer knew what he was doing. Vern had been right about so many things. But Charlotte needn't have worried. By the time the rooster crowed, a wet, folded up bundle of legs was delivered, a filly. The baby horse barely stood on her wobbly legs when Ebenezer said, "There's another one coming, twins!" And in a few frantic minutes, a colt stood next to his sister. "What are you going to name them?" asked Ebenezer. "You should call them Worry and Trouble for the night they gave us." And then he laughed. But Charlotte got quiet and serious like. "Naming something important," she said, "and a name should stand for something. A horse's name should be fitting for a fine animal." She watched the fowls and didn't say anything. The mare licked the colt and the filly started nursing. After she'd considered them for some time, Charlotte crossed her arms and nodded her head with a knowing smile. It had come to her. "Well, you going to keep it to yourself?" said Ebenezer. Charlotte was right proud to explain her reasoning behind it all. And when she was finished, Ebenezer had to agree. They were fine names, important names, that stood for something and were fitting for fine animals. She named the colt Vern's Thunder, and she named the filly Freedom.